Thank you for joining us once again on this Monolith Filmcast bonus episode number 2. And Will. Looks like we got quite a topic to talk about today, folks. I'm Isaac. This is Jake.
Bottom of the barrel.
Bottom of the barrel, dude. So what?
But it's funny.
Yeah.
But it's funny.
I'm trying to think of a Smith one, but I couldn't do it.
Bottom of the barrel.
That's true. I'm gonna rock you. Chris Rock. Welcome to Monolith Filmcast, folks. Today we're talking about the Oscars. I thought this was going to be a boring bonus episode.
You said it, brother.
But it was anything but. So, obviously, we're going to dive into the Chris Rock, Will Smith situation. But before we get into that, I quickly want to go over some of the Oscar winners and just some quick, brief feelings, and then we'll spend probably the latter half of the episode diving into the nuts and bolts.
Almost definitely.
Okay, let's see. Winners and nominees.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Winner, freaking chicken dinner. We will just start with, I guess, we'll start at the bottom of the barrel. All right, here we go. That's kind of rude. Best sound, Dune. Classic. Great. Deserves it.
Worm.
Boom. Production design, also Dune. I wasn't going to name all these, but I forgot Dune won.
Dune.
So, Dune is doing it to him. Editing, Dune. Nice.
That was Dune. Yep.
Costume design, Cruella. Okay, whatever.
Sure, fine.
Cinematography, Dune.
That's Dune.
Nice.
Make your movie orange. That's how you
Dune.
win.
Best original score, Mr. Hans Zimmer for Dune.
Dune.
Congratulations, Mr. Hans Zimmer.
The
Best
Zim Man.
visual effects, Dune. Dude, Dune pretty kind of swept. I kind of forgot.
Yeah, good for Dune. Dune earned it.
And fuck the Oscars for not nominating Denis Villeneuve.
That's fucked up.
And Dune should have probably won Best Picture, but we'll get there. Best adapted screenplay, Coda. Okay, sure.
That's a good award for that movie.
Yeah, that is an appropriate one.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't have picked it still, but okay.
Sure.
Best original screenplay, Belfast. That's fucking weird. Haven't seen it, but I've heard it's bad.
Talk about Saved by the Bell.
Exactly. We'll save best documentary. Best supporting actor, Tony Kotzer for Coda.
Woo!
Okay, this is actually we can hot pause here for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I really liked. I liked watching him win.
He
had a very good speech.
How did you do this year? Overall, I did horrible. I had the worst record of my entire Oscar career so far.
It's funny you say that. This is probably my best one. I got 17 out of 23. Not bad.
I got 8.
Yeah, I got shit last year. I think I got 5 or 6 last year. I don't know what it was this year.
I got I got the big 5 all wrong.
Damn.
I thought for sure that Mr. Jesse Plemons was taking home gold for this one.
Really?
Mm-hmm. But I'm sorry, did I say Tony Kotzer? I meant Troy.
Troy Kotzer.
Yeah, he won. Actually, very cool that he won. I feel like I didn't expect that necessarily, but it was very cool that he won. That's okay.
I agree, and also too, like he gave a really good speech, and also I think he gives a really good performance in the movie too.
Yeah, he is really good.
Even that scene they pulled, which is like one of the only scenes, I still wouldn't have even pulled that scene, but for a lot of the acting nominations, the clips they showed were just like they spoke 2 sentences.
Yeah,
whatever.
Other people were talking in their clip.
Yeah,
which I was like,
the one I would have used for Troy probably would have been the one near the end where he's asking if he can hear her daughter like sing, and he like puts his hand like on her like vocal cords or whatever on the side of her neck. Really beautiful scene. I love that part. But they still use a scene where him and his wife are like arguing, and just obviously sign language is a lot of body language and stuff like that, and how he's like expressing himself is very just good to watch. Like, yeah, he's a wonderful performer, wonderful speaker.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it was very cool. Yeah, I was wrong on that one, but I was pretty much happy to be wrong about almost all of them.
Yeah,
almost. Best supporting actress went to Ariana Dubose for West Side Story.
That's cool.
I didn't know this one. I mean, I've seen the movie, but I didn't guess this one. I thought Kirsten Dunst was taking it, but very happy for Ariana Dubose. International feature film went to Drive My Car. I might save my Drive My Car take for the next episode.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that.
Just because I don't want to put the audience to sleep. So we'll go ahead and move on. Best director. That's pretty good. You should do it.
I should sell that.
Yeah. Huh? Best director went to Jane Campion for The Power of the Dog.
Woo!
Very cool. Very cool.
Oh!
I actually did guess this one right.
Nice.
So, congrats, Miss Jane.
Jane Campion is the champion.
Absolutely. Best animated feature went to
Encanto,
which, okay.
Okay.
Fair enough.
All right.
Best original song. Oh, I thought we were going to be way further ahead in this. No Time to Die, Billie Eilish classic.
That was cool.
Definitely deserved it.
And when she performed it.
Great stuff. And she deserved it. I was very happy. It was worth it. The Oscars were worth it just to watch Lin-Manuel get that EGOT snatched right out of his grubby little hands.
Yeah, but that means he's going to keep trying to get it.
Yeah, he will. He'll never go away.
I would honestly rather just give it to him so he can
just get it out of the fucking way. That's true. That's true. We should have given it to him at this Oscars so that it was overshadowed by everything else that happened at the Oscars.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Would have broke the tradition though of the Bond music getting awards.
That's true. Best Actress went to Jessica Chastain for The Eyes of Tammy Faye. This one was a surprise to me, at least.
Mm-hmm.
I thought for sure it was going to go to Penelope Cruz. I was hoping it was going to go to Kristen Stewart. I would have been okay with it going to Olivia Colman. Didn't watch The Eyes of Tammy Faye. It's cool that Jessica Chastain got it. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like her. So
yeah. I mean, realistically, the only one I was really like championing for was
Kristen Stewart.
Kristen Stewart, just because. I mean, that's also one of the only ones I watched. So.
Yeah, and she was so fucking good.
And yeah, she's really good in it.
Yeah. Poor Pablo Larraín.
Yeah.
All of his leading ladies never win.
Yeah. He's a curse. He's a curse among women.
We'll hold on to Best Actor.
That's a good idea.
And then Best Picture, folks. Best Picture. What'd you guess?
I guessed Power of the Dog.
And I also guessed Power of the Dog. And Coda won. Listen, Coda is fine. It's not a bad movie. You watched that one with us, right? Yeah, we were just talking about it.
I like that movie, and I still don't think it should win.
Exactly. I feel like this is maybe my third pick on here.
It'd be different if it was like a year that didn't have Dune or Power of the Dog, or
even Licorice Pizza. Like, I know it was kind of gross. It was pretty gross, right? But
it's also a really well-made movie.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
Coda's really sweet, and it is good, but it's like, I don't know. I just think with the competition it has this year, I personally feel like that was, I don't know. I just don't really align with that.
It's definitely a vanilla choice in my mind. And I know that like the disability representation is really cool and that's great. Like it genuinely is pretty sweet, but I'm just not too, I don't know. This movie, I'm never going to watch this movie again.
Oh yeah. I mean, I might. But probably
Maybe.
I don't plan on it.
Yeah. So I don't know. Congrats, Apple. You guys got your way.
You got your $25 million baby.
Exactly. So
how much they paid for it?
Yeah, $25 million.
Money.
The biggest Sundance purchase of all time. Nutso. But yeah, that was the Oscars in a nutshell. Some other really weird moments in the Oscars was they did this terrible thing where they went ahead and did the audience choice.
I forgot about these.
Fucking movie or whatever the hell. They did the top 5 cheer-worthy moments. Do you remember what those were?
I do, yeah. And Isaac, before you start talking shit, all right, don't act like you didn't stand up and give a standing ovation when Flash... Wait, what's it say? Flash enters the Speed Force.
Speed Force, yeah. Number 1 most cheer-worthy moment. And then the fan favorite movie of the year was Army of the Dead.
What the fuck? Listen, I'll tell you what. The Snyder fans ate.
Hell?
Snyder fans ate good.
Well, that's because they were flooding the ballot.
Snyder fans ate like it's Thanksgiving.
The Snyder fans are like the Christina voters. They were flooding the ballots.
But you know what? No Way Home got number 2, so I'm okay with that.
Did it get number 2?
Mm-hmm. Cheer-worthy moment.
Yeah, pretty weird.
Of all time.
Of all time, this movie that came out 6 months ago.
Yep.
I don't know. That was horrible. That whole thing was not that movie winning that moment, but both of those segments were god awful terrible.
I think it really just doesn't shine well when people are looking back at this moment in the history books and they see Neo dodging the bullets was number 5 and number 1 was Flash entering the Speed Force.
Oh my god. Yeah,
you're right. I actually kind of forgot when we were watching that Army of the Dead is a Snyder flick.
Yeah. What did you think of Amy Schumer?
Oh god. See, I don't want to just be mean because it's Amy Schumer, but she demonstrates every single goddamn time just how embarrassing she is. She's so embarrassing. I don't like watching her. She makes me upset.
She might be one of the most unfunny people I've ever seen.
And the whole Kirsten Dunst bit that she did is, I was like,
man,
dude,
that was terrible.
Stop. Please stop. I know it's choreographed, but please stop. please
it was
just
so bad, dude.
literally just show me Will Smith slap somebody else.
Yeah, that whole thing was fucking terrible.
God damn. It's also, it would be one thing. Sorry, I don't want to prattle on about this, but
No,
the
no,
bit
no,
alone, that bit alone is, I'm like, okay, first off, the bit itself just isn't very funny, but
Right.
also it's kind of mean to do it to Kirsten Dunst, not because she's like a not well-known actress, but she's not as prolific as a lot of other people in that audience.
Right.
And
it's like a big deal that she's here kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's a big deal that she was nominated.
Right.
And also she lost that nomination, and then you're going to go up and do this seat filler
They
joke
both
with her.
lost.
Yeah, like
it's
fuck
also
off.
just right after we just got off the heels of another spouse joke that went south.
Yeah.
So it's like not a good idea.
Yeah,
She
when
also-
Jesse Plemons was like, keep your fucking
Keep my just fucking flipped her backwards in her chair.
Yeah. Somebody also pointed out Neil Patrick Harris did the seat filler joke with Steve Carell, and it was a lot more lighthearted and it was funnier.
Yeah. I didn't love the bit with not Wanda Sykes. What was the other host's name?
Oh my god. I remember I watched her and I was like, I know that girl. And then I found her name and then I forgot her name again.
When she did the thing where she was like, we gotta do this COVID test.
Oh, where she just assaulted
A whole
Josh
bunch of men
Brolin
on stage.
and Aquaman,
Jason Momoa.
on stage, and like they were like
Yeah.
playing with it. I'm sure it was choreographed that way, but it's still just like, yikes! I don't like this at all.
Yeah, just not a good look. Just not a good look at all.
Yeah.
Just kind of tone
Oh
deaf.
yeah, and the COVID testing I forgot with like Timothy Chalamet and stuff. Yeah, that was also weird.
Yeah, very weird.
Yeah,
Ugh,
yeah,
very, very, very weird.
Yeah.
But
But that wasn't the only thing that happened.
that wasn't the
night.
only thing, folks. We're sitting there, right? We're minding our own beeswax.
And it's
Why
an
don't
Oscars,
you?
and it's okay so far. Presentation's back. That's fun.
It's let's introduce it like this. There's no other way to say it, folks. Let's just play it in like this.
OJC.
My wife's name out your fucking mouth!
So Chris walks out, right?
Mhm.
A Chris Rock walks into a bar to present best documentary, right? Best documentary.
Bartender is Jade Plinkett Smith.
Yeah. Oh my god. A nun walks in. Okay. Best documentary, by the way, went to Summer of Soul. Pretty cool. Good for them. Good for Questlove. So
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Great.
He's out there to announce best documentary and starts riff-raffing on people. I can't even remember what the other jokes he made was.
I don't remember either.
Doesn't really matter.
Mm-mm.
But then he says Jada Pinkett Smith. And he says like G.I. Jane 2. Can't wait to see it. Right?
Because her head is shaved.
Cause she's bald.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Everyone's laughing. Everyone's having a good old time.
Will's laughing.
Will's laughing a little bit, right?
But
Then you just cuts back to close up on Chris Rock, and he just kind of keeps talking to him. And he's like, uh-oh. And then you just see camera widens. Will Smith walks up. Boom.
he's power walking.
Power walking.
Absolutely power walking.
And it's like, all right, this is all part of the show. Boom. Smacks him. Rocks him across the
You can
face.
hear it.
Connects.
Mhm.
That's
You
how
can
I thought
even-
it was fake.
You can even hear Chris Rock go,
Yeah. Thought for sure it was fake at this point.
really?
I'm still like, fake. Funny. Okay, that's kind of funny, but that's fake.
That's interesting. I did not think that.
You immediately were
not
like-
that I was like, oh, I know, but it's
Right.
just like mostly because I was like, shit like this happens at the Oscars. Shit goes a little wily sometimes,
Yeah.
but also just the sound of it and like Chris
Oh
Rock's
my
reaction.
God.
I was like, maybe this is a bit, but that's a weird bit.
Well, what sold it for me was the broadcast starts cutting out.
Yeah,
That's when I was like, that wasn't supposed to happen.
yeah. The audio completely cuts out, and the video doesn't cut, which is actually kind of interesting.
It's like flickering back and forth, and then you see Will Smith and
Yelling.
and you can see him yelling, and I could see what he was mouthing, but we
Mhm.
couldn't hear it in America.
Yeah, and he looks really angry.
Yeah, Lupita Nyong'o is behind him, like, oh god.
Yeah, and his
Like,
eyes are also
yikes.
really glossy. Like that's genuine anger.
He's emotional. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Like I think the last thing we heard on the U.S. broadcast is, "Oh wow, Will Smith just slapped," and then
yeah,
the
Will
audio
Smith
cuts
just
out.
slapped the shit out of me, and then
Yeah.
it cuts out or whatever. Will Smith mouthed, "Fucking mouth." You hear him say that,
Mhm.
and then it eventually just cuts back to Chris Rock being like,
Okay, wow.
"Okay, wow, we are here to," and then he goes on and he gives the speech.
So the thing to start, what a roller coaster of 35 seconds. completely completely changed the Oscars.
Yeah.
Forever.
My number 2 Oscar moment of all time.
Yeah, easily, right?
Oh, wow.
But the show must go on, and Chris Rock knew that. I am impressed. Chris Rock
He
ate
handled it
that
like a
slap.
champ.
He
Yeah.
ate that slap like it was breakfast.
He must have been fucking hungry because he ate that knuckle sandwich like it was his fucking breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
nothing. That was. He asked for seconds when he ate it.
He said, "I'm still hungry."
I said, "Thank you, sir. May I have another?"
Yeah, and then he
Kept his
gives
hands
the
behind
award.
the back the whole damn time too.
Yeah, that was interesting. And so, I think a good place to start with this conversation too is how do you feel about what happened? Also, we should clarify the reason Will went up there, if it wasn't clear from the context we explained, is because Chris Rock made the joke about Jada, about G.I. Jane, her shaved head. She looks upset in the clip.
She doesn't think it's funny.
She doesn't think it's funny.
All right. Yeah, I think that's a good place to start.
So that's why Will went up there and he smacked the shit out of Chris Rock.
And he said, and then when the full unedited clip comes out, he says, "Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth." And then Chris Rock goes, "Yeah." And then Chris Rock goes, "It was a G.I. Jane joke, dude." And Will Smith's like, "Yeah." And then he starts to say something else, and then he says it again, but just louder, "Out your fucking mouth!"
Yeah,
yelling.
It gives me chills. I was like, "Oh God, I don't like that."
And then that's when Chris Rock is just like,
"Oh my God."
And then I saw someone else point out that he does kind of mumble, "I could, and then just like he's about to be like, "You know what I could say right now?" And I think Chris Rock handled it really the only way he could.
Yeah.
Really the only way he could.
Yeah.
It could have gotten so much. Imagine if they fought.
I know. You know what else I was thinking about? Have you ever seen like those slap championships, like on YouTube or whatever? Yeah, like knockout. What if he fucking knocked Chris Rock out and Chris Rock just fell to the floor on live TV and Will Smith just walked back and there's nobody on the microphone?
I'm not gonna lie, I would have loved that.
That would have been fucking insane.
That would have been pretty hilarious.
Then they definitely would have cut the visuals.
They would have had to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So how do I feel about it? That's your question.
Yeah. How do you feel about this situation with the context we have in mind now? What are you thinking in this moment?
Okay. So originally, when it first happened, I was shocked. Right. I was like, "Holy fuck!"
I was like, this might be a drastic term, but I was kind of disturbed. I was like, "Holy shit!"
Like kind of freaked out a little bit.
I was like, "That was weird.
Yeah.
That was really weird."
It's just weird to see that. Like, I think it's mostly just like you don't expect to see that at the Oscars kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to be like pearl clutchy about that or be like, "Oh, this kind of thing doesn't happen at the Oscars." It's not anything like that. You don't expect to see, you also don't expect to see Will Smith smack the fuck out of someone in public.
Chris Rock especially.
You just don't expect to see that,
no,
right? Not. So initially my reaction was just like Will Smith just assaulted this man. And he did, like, no lie, he did, right? Sure. I'm not and honestly, I think, and Chris Rock obviously isn't pressing charges. I think that's the right call. Yeah. I think that is so silly. I know that the Oscars is looking at further investigations. I think if they, we'll get to what happens next, I guess, here in a second. But yeah, so
they're both rich. You know what I mean?
Right.
It'd be one thing if it was like he slapped the shit out of some poor guy or some like middle class guy.
I guess with no,
you slap me, I'm pressing charge. Give me some of that, some of that money.
Sure, exactly. And I also feel like here's the thing: I'm not, maybe not criminal charges, but I totally agree. Right? Like, I'm suing your ass.
Yeah.
Like you're for sure giving me some of that fucking
some of that dough.
Yeah, exactly.
Hollywood dough. I'm making bread.
Some of that Men in Black money. I'm with zero additional context because we're gonna dive into it, right?
Yeah.
The biggest thing about this is just that it is very interesting to see something has never made me this moment, and then maybe I'm being a little hyperbolic here, right? Mm-hmm. But the Chris Rock Will Smith thing, right, is truly one of the most making me aware of just the time we live in moments I've ever experienced.
Tell me what you mean by that.
Just we are living in, you know how people always say it's like cancel culture, right? Uh-huh. Okay, whatever. Sure. But we do live in a take culture, meaning everyone's got to give their take on this.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's 100% true.
And the takes have just been astounding.
I agree. I was gonna bring this up really quick before you tell me.
I want to tell you how I feel.
I feel like you have a specific thing to say. But also, the takes on this are, to my surprise, quite divisive. Quite divisive.
Just the public conversation about this is it is really insane. Like I'm like it is just I can't believe how many people know about this. So without any of the additional context in mind, truly my take on this is this shit is funny. This shit is funny.
It is hilarious.
Two rich guys fucking not even they didn't even both fight. Will Smith smacked the fuck out of another rich guy, and they're both Hollywood actors, and I feel bad for neither of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that I'm not saying like, oh, I wish Will Smith would have hit him twice. I'm not saying that I wanted Chris Rock to smack him back. There's nothing like that. It's just the situation is funny. One of the funniest tweets I saw kind of explaining it said, like, a lot of you guys have really bad takes on this, when the only correct take to have is just that shit's funny because Hancock just smacked Donkey. And that's really funny because Chris Rock is not Donkey. That's Eddie Murphy.
Oh my God.
But yeah, Hancock did smack Marty from Madagascar.
That's right.
And that's hilarious.
That is very funny.
And that's just my biggest thing is like, you can argue there's people that are like disappointed in Will Smith, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And there's people that are like defending Will Smith. And I'm kind of also like whatever on that. I genuinely think one of my other things that I've seen people say is like, it's just interesting because this discourse is like, it's been a long time since we've had discourse where both sides have some really good points. You know what I mean?
I actually do agree with that.
And I totally agree. I don't think that I really give a shit to like pick a side kind of a thing.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, there's other things.
There's not really a side to pick, I don't think. If depending on how things develop, I guess I'd pick a side, right? Like if the Oscars takes additional action, I think that's bad.
Yeah, I think so
that's
too.
Very silly.
Don't take his fucking Oscar.
No.
That is so fucking stupid.
That's stupid, right?
And if you're gonna start doing that for Will Smith, there's some other people you fucking need to be taking some Oscars from. Then
my biggest, and then so maybe how do you feel about it though? That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, no,
shit's funny.
I definitely align with you there. I mean, my whole thing in the moment I was just like fucking shook. I was like, holy shit, and I was just so distracted. Shocking. I was like, I've never seen anything like that. There's just so many, there's just so much to it. Like I just kept playing it back over and over in my head that night because I was like, I can't believe that just happened. It feels like a fever dream.
When I woke up in the morning, it was like, oh my God.
I can't believe that happened.
And that happened last night. That's crazy.
And then just all the conversations in my office the next day, all about the Oscars.
Yeah.
And it's funny too, because even there'd be somebody I talked to about it who would say one thing, and then I'd go downstairs, talk to somebody else about it, completely other side of the conversation. But yeah, I totally agree. And the funny thing to me is that the takes are very divisive and both sides are stretching so hard.
Yes. Oh my God. I think so that's why it's okay. Maybe we should break down a little bit of what some of these takes are.
Yeah.
I want to break it down in a couple different ways. There's a difference to me between takes and then people's stances on it. Because the takes that I'm talking about are god awful. Like, for example, oh man, I've liked a few just because they are.
So you can bring them up later.
Yeah, that's they are so funny. Let's see. Here's a really good one. Okay. If you're curious why Germans allowed Hitler to happen, or Americans allowed George W. Bush to lead us into Iraq, or why Russians are allowing Putin to murder Ukrainians, look at how the Oscar crowd and his supporters handled Will Smith tonight. Will Smith is literally Hitler to some of these people. That is a galaxy brain take. My God.
Oh, God.
This one's hilarious. The Will Smith doctrine. Reward in return for aggression has no place in the resolution of the Ukraine war. What? What are you talking about? Oh, man. Let's see. There's another.
It's all connected, Isaac. It's all connected.
Here it is. Here's one really fucking hilarious one was this doctor tweeted like, imagine, a doctor. Yeah, okay. Imagine maybe a physician, but she had the MD in her Twitter. Right. She tweeted, imagine Betty White had made a joke, no matter how offensive. And Will Smith smacked her, and she fell. And then her tweet said, she could have fallen backwards, cracked her skull, and died of a brain bleed. And it's like, well, yeah, but it wasn't Betty White. And then someone replied to their tweet and was like, that's so true. Also, what if Chris Rock was a baby and Will Smith used brass knuckles? It's like, you're getting mad about this fake situation that didn't. And like, this one is so fucking embarrassing. Judd Apatow.
Oh, dude.
Judd Apatow is making the biggest fucking fool of himself. And it is so embarrassing. He's oh God, he's pearl grasping about it.
Oh yeah.
And he tweeted, he could have killed him. That's pure out of control rage and violence. They've heard a million jokes about them in the last 3 decades. They are not freshmen in the world of Hollywood and comedy. He lost his mind.
That's a lib.
It's not only is it very much white liberals freaking out, but they're kind of showing their fucking, a lot of this is so coded with racist.
It's true. It's true.
Like just the way that they're talking about like, oh my God, like that. And that's what I mean. Like when I'm saying like, you don't expect it to happen at the Oscars, I'm not saying it in like this is a place of dignity. I just mean like, I just didn't expect to see that. Like I just genuinely didn't. But some of these takes are just fucking terrible. Like,
yeah, no, that's fucking stupid.
Especially, and you just see like the people on right wing Twitter are like calling for Will Smith's head. They want this man in cuffs.
Yeah, they want to arrest him.
I'm like, all right, nah, what are you talking about?
He slapped him.
He smacked him in the face.
Yeah, I think that's another thing too that people are really. I think that Judd Apatow tweet is a really good example of just people who are like really stretching on how much damage Will Smith is doing.
Right.
It's way more about the humiliation of it. It's way more about just the behavior than it is about the actual injury. It's not an injury.
The way it's also like, yeah, he could have, I guess.
Yeah.
Like people are like, even able-bodied Chris Rock could have fallen backward. Like it happens. Like that. Remember that soccer coach in Utah like 10 years ago? Or not a coach, a ref got in a fight with one of the kids. They were arguing and the kid fucking punched him in the side of the head and he died. Like, yeah, that happens, sure. But like it didn't fucking happen.
Yeah, and that's
it's also just like, yeah, well also what if a plane fucking crashed? And like what if you left your house and you got in a car accident? And like it's just
yeah, it's
I don't know.
It's just they're acting like the ifs they're bringing to the table are things that did happen. But they're not.
No, they didn't happen at all.
And yeah, it's also too like, yeah, what if he like really hurt him? He's like, yeah, if he fucking ran at him,
or if he jumped on the ground and he was like fucking punch him in the face,
and like made it his mission to injure him, then yeah, that something like that could have happened. But I really don't think that was the goal. I think the whole thing was Will Smith wanted to fucking embarrass the shit out of Chris Rock.
And he did.
On live television.
Yeah.
He didn't want to hurt him. He didn't want to. Well, I think he wanted to hurt him a little bit because he smacked him in the fucking face.
Yeah.
But he didn't even punch him. Like,
I saw someone say that was not. Will Smith was trying to basically, for lack of a better terms, like he was trying to put him in his place, kind of a thing. Like he was trying to correct him.
And I still don't think that's like, oh, so that's fine.
Right. No. And that's not
how I feel about it.
That's exactly.
But yeah. I think stretching so far the other side to say that Chris Rock could be fucking dead is I think a bit one. No, he's not dead. And also, too, he probably wouldn't have been in any other crazy way this could have played out.
I saw a really funny tweet that said, like, no matter what, the next time we see Chris Rock present an award, he should be wearing an oversized neck brace.
I saw that, too. That's fucking hilarious.
Okay, so maybe to kind of give some defense to either side. Why did Will Smith do this, right? Jada Pinkett Smith has alopecia.
I didn't know this.
I don't know who knew this, right? Now, here's something I'll say to the folks out there that might be saying, it doesn't matter, violence is never the answer, right? If you work for the committee to raise alopecia awareness, you might be rethinking that. Because violence sure is
everybody knows about alopecia.
I would say
now.
the amount of people, I would say the percent of Americans who knew what alopecia was 60 hours ago was probably 20%.
They jumped just like the Oscars ratings, I'll tell you that much.
100%. So sometimes violence is the answer.
Turns out.
She has alopecia, right? Whether Chris Rock knew that, it doesn't really matter. Now, there's a couple other aspects of this story. Even if he did know it, is it an offensive? Is it a joke that's mean-spirited enough to justify that? That's not really for any of us to say.
Yeah, I was gonna kind of say the same thing because I also see a lot of people going back and forth on whether or not alopecia is a disability.
Sure, which is
I'm not gonna come out here and say whether or not it is. I'm not a disabled person. There's no way at all I have. Yeah, I don't have any sort of justification. I don't have any reason to say either or.
And I don't think it really matters. I think you get to the end of the day and you hold a vote for everyone in the country who has alopecia. Is alopecia a disability? And 70% of them say no or yes, right? Okay, now what?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, okay, well now it's kind of like I don't really get the point of that argument.
Exactly.
So, yes. So
overall, I also didn't really end on what I actually think about it.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Certainly, if I would say aside from it just being funny, right? If I'm going to take away like things from it, the joke was mean.
Yeah. And so was every joke.
Yeah, so most of his jokes were mean.
Right.
With the context of the alopecia, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty sad. I feel kind of bad for Jada. But smacking him was an overreaction.
Yeah,
That's all there is to it.
here's then where I get also like, I don't know about this.
But I am glad he did it.
I'm here's the thing. I don't want anything bad to happen to Will Smith.
Yeah, I mean,
and if anything, if this causes him to spiral in some way, then I don't think it's funny.
Yeah,
right?
no, I agree with that.
This is only like, it's only funny in a world where everybody fucking lets this go.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. And the two hosts of the Oscars next year are Will Smith and Chris Rock.
Yeah.
That's best case scenario for me.
That'd be great.
That'd be hilarious.
A very good time.
Be incredible.
Then they could do a choreographed bit where he smacks.
Absolutely, right.
Do you think that's too soon?
No, I think that'd be perfect.
That'd be great.
Perfect.
That'd be hilarious.
So, okay, then here's some of the other arguments. Chris Rock has a targeted history against Jada Pinkett Smith with her jokes.
Which I wasn't aware of at the time as well.
I kind of have to push back on that one a little too.
Let's hear it.
Do you know what the other joke he made is?
Yeah, isn't it about how she like boycotted the Oscars and then he was like, "It's like if I got invited to Rihanna's panties."
You said it's like if I boycotted Rihanna's panties.
Oh, if I boycotted Rihanna's panties, I wasn't invited.
Right.
So he's just saying you weren't invited, Jada.
Right, and yep, she was boycotting the Oscars for the Oscars so white thing, right? And like again, that's a joke. It's not really.
Yeah, it's still not.
It's a funny joke, I would argue. That's kind of funny because, in essence, Chris Rock is the butt of that joke, saying that, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, obviously, maybe it's not cool to make light of, and maybe I'm not the person to say so, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's not cool to make light of that. Whatever. That's totally fine. I don't know that maybe, and maybe there's also more to it than that, but I don't really consider that targeted harassment.
Yeah. I mean, I would also say too, I mean, even with that context, okay, so from that perspective, along with the Oscar invitation joke and the G.I. Jane joke, now it's warranted to slap him.
Sure.
Is that what the argument is?
Right.
And then also on top of that, it's like, well, I'm sure if we pulled out different bits and pieces of Chris Rock's like comedic history, we could probably find more than two jokes about
there is some
plenty of other people as well. And then also just in general, some bad shit. But,
yeah,
but more so in the sense of just like, I'm sure we could find a list of people that he's made more than two jokes about.
Exactly. I also saw like a lot of people online being like, Chris Rock has like been deserving this for a long time, and especially referencing this one specific video where he's in a room with Louis C.K., Jerry Seinfeld, and Ricky Gervais.
I hate that video.
Man, weird to see a clip with that many people in there, and Jerry Seinfeld, the voice of reason in the room. Yeah. And they're all just saying the N-word, and it's terrible. Except for Jerry Seinfeld, he's like, I don't think that's funny. I've seen that video a couple times.
I hate that video.
It's so bad. So, some people are like, Chris Rock has been deserving this shit for a while now. And I'm also like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not the person to really say that either. I don't really care. Now, here's the other thing too that I feel like is, if I had to like give a genuine take about it outside of just what happened specifically, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith have had their relationship and their marriage kind of in the public eye very publicly in recent time already. Do I think that Will Smith was genuinely offended by this joke and felt the need to defend his wife's honor? No, I do not. Now, I have seen people saying, in defense of him laughing at the joke initially, they're saying, well, that's bullshit. Like, you don't know if your trauma response would be to... He was laughing because it's in a public situation and it may have taken him a moment to process what was said. I think that's a fucking stretch. I'm not going to say that can't have happened.
Yeah, but that's an extreme escalation in such a short amount of time also. Like, that's the whole thing is like, yeah, I've had times where I've laughed at something and been like, wait, actually, I don't really like what was said.
Or an uncomfortable laugh. Like, but I'm like, dude was laughing.
But I have never gone from, I'm going to smack the fuck out of you.
And also,
like, I've never had that.
If you're going to just kind of play Occam's razor, like the most likely scenario, I think it's just way more likely that he was like, Jada Pinkett Smith was not laughing about it, and he was like, nah, I gotta save face because I don't want to be in the doghouse tonight.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
And now the other half of that where I think people are reading into this situation way too much is
what you're gonna bring up.
Holy shit! There's also a whole half, especially Facebook, that this is somehow Jada Pinkett Smith's fault, and she's actually abusing Will Smith. Okay, yikes! That's also like you don't know these people. and you are like assigning.
Yeah, it's very parasocial and weird.
Yeah.
And also, too, I just don't really like that. Jade is the one who literally didn't do anything.
She was
here.
not. We don't even
Jade
see
is
her
not-
face.
Jade is the butt end of a joke and the wife of the man who slapped Chris Rock on stage. She didn't do anything.
She's not even a nominee.
Yeah,
She's
exactly.
literally here to support her husband, who was nominated for Best
So
Actor.
in general, I'm like, and I also I think I've seen that take that you're referencing on Facebook today also, and what they're saying, what they're finding that reasoning in is not even on camera. They're saying that's happening in between the
Right.
cuts, which I was like, okay, so
But
you have
you
no
have no fucking
evidence
idea.
of that. That's
Right.
just you projecting whatever weird shit onto this situation.
And I've seen a lot of people also just be like, well, it would make sense because, like, you know, he's getting cucked in their marriage and blah, 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 blah. So, like, he had to do this because, like, she's probably... And I'm like, it's also just one of those things where I'm like, I don't really know what that's helpful to do.
Yeah.
Like, now what? Okay, that's true. You're right. What now? Now Jada Pinkett Smith goes to prison? Like, what exactly do you want to have happen here? Like, it's this weird attempt to, like, save Will Smith's legacy, which I'm also like, I don't really think it's in... I don't think it's in danger.
He won an Oscar tonight.
He won an Oscar. That was even fucking funnier.
He'll be in
then
more
he
movies,
fucking
dude.
wins.
Relax.
Then he listen. Shia LaBeouf is gonna keep being in movies. Mel Gibson's still gonna keep being in movies. Will Smith is not canceled.
Yeah.
It's
Are you
fine.
kidding me?
It's fine.
Yeah.
If Will Smith asked if he could be on the Monolith film cast tomorrow, 100%
Oh my
I would
God,
say
are you
yes.
kidding me?
100%. Are you kidding? Yeah, exactly. So, the takes on this have just been astoundingly bad from like all aspects of it. When at the end of the day, I just think it's so funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's very funny.
What do you think though about here's another thing that I kind of want to point out, just about some of the very specifics of it. I still don't think Will Smith was mad until he got back to his seat.
Really?
Because even after he smacks Chris Rock in the face,
He's laughing kind of, right?
he just looks kind of neutral.
Mm-hmm.
And then I feel like he sits back down.
And his face is like intense.
And then I think at this point, like the rush of emotions has kind of caught up to him.
Yeah.
And now he's like, he makes a conscious effort to kind of like, I guess I kind of have to tough guy right now.
Yeah. I actually,
Which is fine.
I do agree with that because I do think he's angry. Because I saw a tweet, I showed it to you. Eddie Burback tweeted, like, you know how much fucking red you got to be seeing to speed walk the Oscars and smack somebody in the face? You got to be fucking livid. Yeah. And so I do think he's really angry in that moment because also, like, the slap itself is like, that's good form.
Yeah, dude.
Holy shit.
Now imagine if he missed. Imagine
I
if
thought about
Chris
this
Rock ducked it.
Yeah.
Then
I
what?
wonder
Does
what
he
would
follow up?
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about this today too. I was like, holy shit, that is like probably the best way it could have gone, honestly.
Yeah, and I do want to praise Chris Rock a little bit here. I'm not saying he's with no fault, and I'm not saying he's a good guy in the past, whatever, nothing like that. Maybe he is, I'm not saying one way or the other. But regardless, this isn't to say that Will Smith did something horribly fucking wrong that I can never forgive him for either. Yeah. Regardless, though, I do think that Chris Rock handled it like an absolute fucking Chad.
Yeah, holy shit. He did wonderful. Like I was actually pretty impressed by that. I was
like on multiple fronts. Like had his arms behind his back. He moved a little bit, but he ate the slap.
And he started talking calmly the rest of the time.
Pretty much immediately.
Like
didn't
his
rub
voice
his
wasn't
cheek.
shaky. Yeah, he didn't. Yeah.
He wasn't like, ooh, ouchie, nothing. He was just like,
yeah.
Okay.
He was host the whole time. He was in host mode.
Yeah.
But to wrap up my point on Will Smith though, when he goes to sit down, you can see how like glossy his eyes get. And I think that's like him being so angry and now he's just like, oh, I just did something.
Yeah.
Pretty serious.
And he just doubles down.
And so yeah, I think he doubles down on the tough guy thing, but I think he's just overwhelmed with emotion that probably a little bit of embarrassment.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he is embarrassed. And it is a little bit embarrassing. Regardless of if you think it's justified or not, it's like, I mean, it is like, it's kind of embarrassing for Chris Rock, even though he's, I guess, the victim. Yeah. Like, it is embarrassing to get the shit smacked out of you on TV.
Yeah.
Like,
it is
get sucker punched.
But yeah, it is funny that Chris Rock was immediately like, Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me.
Yeah, I still even thought he was joking then.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, damn,
right.
That was impromptu. That's pretty bad. Your voice didn't shake at all after just getting hit in the face by a soon-to-be Oscar-winning actor.
Imagine if Chris Rock was like, oh. Oh my God. Then, so yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to wrap it up a little bit, but I more so just mean like, okay, the night keeps going on a little bit. We cut to commercial break.
Yeah.
I fully expect Will Smith to not be in the building.
Yeah.
I did think for sure they would kick him out.
They would.
I thought, to me, I think, regardless, that is kind of unacceptable.
Yeah, no, I do agree.
Maybe you don't let someone who just attacked someone else in the building stay in the building.
I think that's 100% like just wealth and fame.
100%.
Like,
actually,
you know what I mean?
I kind of disagree.
Tell me what you think.
I think he stays in specifically because a few nominees later, we find out Will Smith wins the Best Actor award.
Which I did get a W on that one.
Congratulations. And I actually had it spoiled for me on Twitter.
Yeah, I noticed that because like right before it happened, you were like, no way.
Because I was like an
oh
article tweeted like a picture of Will Smith, and they were like, congratulations to Will Smith on da-da-da. And I was like, at first I was just like, oh, that's a really weird thing for them to tweet right now because he just did that to Chris Rock. But then I read the tweet and I was like, oh, what the fuck? Like, so Will Smith wins. Okay. I think Chris Rock gets smacked in the face. Immediately, everyone behind the scenes is going, what the fuck just happened? What the fuck just happened?
Oh god!
And I think that they're like, "What do we do?" And I think that they're like, they're talking. They're like, "We need to escort him out of the building." Then I think one of the higher ups is like, "We can't exit him out of the building because he's gonna win."
Yep.
And that looks so much worse.
That looks awful. That
really looks bad. Way fucking worse. That your Oscar winner, and you can't just give the award to someone else.
Yeah.
So I think that
give it to Jada, I guess maybe
they had to let him stay, and he didn't know he was going to win. And I mean, he's also immediately consoled by Denzel Washington, and Tyler Perry and Bradley Cooper.
Yeah,
which is funny mostly because I'm just like, where is Chris Rock in all this?
it's just he laughed. It's like, I'm fucking leaving.
Fuck you guys, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, then Will Smith wins his award, and he comes up. And what do you think of his speech?
So, quite a speech. Quite a speech.
Sure.
Honestly, the biggest thing for me is I really want to know if this speech was if he's taking any of what he rehearsed in his speech, or if this was all on the fly, because what he says seems very in the moment. Is any of what Will Smith says when he's accepting his award, is any of that what he had previously written down for his speech?
Yeah.
Because what he's saying really does not seem rehearsed. What he's saying, the first words he says when he gets up on there is,
Richard Williams was a
fierce defender of his family. And he's like crying.
Yeah.
And it's like,
here's the thing. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, that's really all I have to say is I'm like, I cannot imagine that's what he wrote down originally.
Right. I think the speech is hard because how do you give someone the space to be genuinely emotional or manipulatively emotional?
That's an astute observation.
Right. And I'm not saying that I necessarily think it's one way or the other. I think that Will Smith is genuinely embarrassed in that moment. And it's okay. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that he's genuinely embarrassed. And I also think that he is like genuinely kind of remorseful. Now, I don't think that he is sorry to Chris Rock.
Well,
he explicitly doesn't apologize to Chris Rock, which is hilarious. It's
pretty funny.
I do think that he's like embarrassed in general.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he's like sorry. I think he is definitely like, I don't think that the smack tarnishes Will Smith's career, but it does completely overshadow the fact that he just won an Oscar.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It also overshadows everybody else who won an Oscar.
Literally. And it's kind of just a bad rap for the night in general. I think the most unfortunate thing is that you'll never be able to see the words Will Smith Oscar winner without immediately thinking of when he smacked Chris Rock in the face at the Oscars.
That's true.
And I think that he feels that a little bit. You know what I mean? And again, I don't want to like play too like, oh, boo-hoo, poor millionaire to Will Smith in this situation. But I do think that he is embarrassed and remorseful about that. Now,
I would also argue too, like just as a general film enjoyer,
right?
Like you can kind of feel in that stuff when other people are also into it,
right? And also
and obviously Will Smith had been an actor since he was like 22 or something. So,
and then even on just like a human level, like I'm sure the dude's emotions are genuine, right?
Yeah.
Now, do I think his words are very specifically chosen? Yes, but I don't really think that he was going to be able to say anything without it seeming that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no matter what he does, is it better or worse that he in this roundabout way tries to defend himself as being a family defender. I don't know, because I think if he reads his regular speech and acts like nothing happened, you'd have the white liberal women online being like, what a fucking asshole. And I think that he does what he does, and you have white liberal women online being like, what a fucking asshole. So I feel like the people that were going to call him an asshole, we're going to call him an asshole either way. Yeah. And that's not to say he is or isn't an asshole. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to like project too much of my like just personal shit onto it, right? But it is kind of like, I don't really like that this man just did something very aggressive, very masculine, and then he gets up on stage and makes himself feel better. I just don't really like that in general.
That's true. I can see. I can definitely see that, and I do not love the framing of it as almost like a duty that he had just as a man.
I agree, and also just like this,
I had no choice.
Like in all this stuff he's saying, like at this time of my life, I need to be a vessel of love, and just shit like that. It's like, well,
you weren't a minute ago.
You were kind of the opposite of that, actually. Like, and I just sure. And that in general just kind of grosses me out.
Right.
To put it, in any other way other than just kind of like, agree. Something just like, whatever.
I just also think too, like, even on its face of like, let's say you take everything at face value and you're fully believing Will Smith. Mm-hmm. Maybe not even necessarily believing is the word, but Will Smith was correct, and he defended his wife. And that's a good. That's a net positive, right? Mm-hmm. Is that the way that maybe you're supposed to handle that? Mm-hmm. I'm like, what happens if you smack Chris Rock in the face immediately during commercial break?
Yeah, I think that honestly is a really big part of it too. Is like the biggest part about this is that it was on national TV. If this happened, during the rap party, nowhere near as talked about. I don't think.
No, definitely not. It might be weird. It might be like, oh shit, they got in a fight.
Shit, I guess they got in a fight. I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
but I saw what happened. So that's just what's different.
I think one of the other things that's just really interesting to think about is, I still, and this might be a weird time to bring up it's not a defense of this person. Mm-hmm. It's not, but I do think it's like important context to keep in mind. Mm-hmm. Does this stick to Will Smith the way that Kanye West interrupting Taylor Swift, the MTV Movie Awards, sticks?
That's an interesting.
And I think God no. I think God no. And that's not to say that Kanye West isn't doing some fucked up stuff, mm-hmm. right? And it's not to say that Will Smith is like cool necessarily for doing this. Mm-hmm. I think Kanye West was totally correct in what he said at the MTV Movie Awards. I think that Will Smith probably shouldn't have smacked Chris Rock, right? Mm-hmm. But I do more so kind of feel like it's a little bit comparable, just because I feel like there's similar moments in terms of pop culture, and the victim of said incident is a black man or a young white woman. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's why maybe Kanye West is still like seen as this thing that he did, you know what I mean? Like it's so fucked up that he did that. Like, I don't know. Do you kind of get what I'm saying there though?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think it's
like, what does this mean for Will Smith, I guess, going forward?
I think those two things are similar in the sense that both, though, that was the Grammys that Kanye did that, right?
I think it was the MTV Movie Awards or Music Awards.
Okay, well, that also changes it because it's not the Grammys. Maybe
it was the Grammys,
but I guess
don't even think it was fucking
I guess the MTV Music Awards are overshadowed by Kanye's,
or Taylor's moments
behavior. Really. Yeah, right. But and I guess it's similar in the sense that to the Oscars, this Oscars was overshadowed by Will Smith's behavior, but in general, overall, like I don't really think they're
super the same. No.
Yeah.
I just more so mean just in terms of, I don't know. That's just like the only other thing I can kind of compare it to.
Yeah.
It's just like, holy shit, this thing just happened.
Yeah.
Like that was not supposed to happen.
Not supposed to happen. But yeah. And then also just to clarify too, I think his behavior is gross. Like I think the righteousness he applies to what he did is bad. I don't think that's a good thing. I think to me personally that grosses me out a bit. Not saying that I think he's a gross person.
Right.
I just don't really like that behavior. That's a little bit icky to me.
Right.
But overall, no. I don't expect Will Smith to lose his Oscar. I don't expect him to. I don't think he should. Yeah. I think his reputation is a little bit not good right now, but I don't think even in a couple years people are going to be like, yeah, well, you can't be on this movie because of that thing you did.
I think that's the other thing that's just so funny is like, what does that even mean? His reputation is going to be tarnished. And I'm not asking like, what do you mean by that? I just more so mean like, when people say that, like even with people saying, I'm not saying you can't have lost your respectometer for Will Smith has gone down a little bit. Okay, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Whatever, that's fine. But what does that mean to individuals? Like, if you're someone at home who disagrees with us and you're like, no, that was fucked up. Okay, now what? What are you going to do about it?
Yeah,
It's kind
exactly.
of my thing. Like, is this something where you will never watch a Will Smith movie ever again because he smacked Chris Rock in the face? Like,
yeah, that's silly.
Are you never going to watch the Oscars again if they don't strip him of his award? I just think that it puts everybody in such a one thing I kind of think is like, maybe I'm kind of gracious for the moment, is it really is making fucking everyone get their ass called out.
Yeah.
Judd Apatow acting like just like, oh my word, I've never seen such violence. Immediately people are like, remember when James Franco was assaulting women on the sets of Freaks and Geeks and you did nothing? And then he deletes his tweets. It's like,
dumbass.
Yeah, you stupid motherfucker. Like, and it's totally true. It's like, you have had how many presenters at the Oscars who beat their wives?
That's true.
And the Oscars are going to
Gary Oldman was a host a couple years ago.
Gary Oldman won Best Actor like a year and a half ago.
That's right.
I'm like, and you're gonna strip Will Smith of his Oscar that you gave him to this year because he smacked one of the hosts on TV? Like, I just feel like that is so silly to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Roman, half of the people in this room signed a petition to drop the charges against Roman Polanski after he fled the country for statutory rape charges of a 13-year-old girl.
Guillermo del Toro signed that.
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino signed it. Wes Anderson signed it, right? Some of the faves signed that letter, right? No one's hands in that room are clean. Yeah. So it's really, that's why I think their reactions speak more volumes about just kind of their hidden racism and them kind of being kind of pearl clutchy about this, like the sanctity of the Oscars.
I think also too, it's like it's literally in your face because you're seeing it.
Yeah,
and it's
people
on
just
the stage.
don't like that.
And I think that's what people are assigning the importance
I
to
agree.
when I don't think that's where it should lie.
I do agree.
And
I do think it is pretty hypocritical of how many of these people are like, we need to, I mean, not to say that they're the same thing, right? They're not the same thing. Ukraine and the Will Smith thing are not the same thing.
Yeah, no.
But I don't see how you take this fucking like anti-violence stance. Violence is never okay. And then be like, my president increased the military budget by 18%. Yes, that's my, like, I just don't get that. That doesn't, like, so you do think violence is the answer. You just don't want to see it.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a great point. I think that's a good point. I do want to say though, which it was more so the point you were making earlier, right, about like Will Smith's reputation. And I am in agreement with you in the sense that like, yeah, no, I don't think he should not have any serious repercussion, like taking away his fucking Oscar or something like that. If they want to condemn him in articles and shit like that, just saying like, hey, that wasn't cool and he shouldn't have done that. Okay, whatever, you know?
Right.
But I do think Will Smith has had a reputation of being a very like positive sort of
right, yeah, like a
energy to him.
Guy. Right.
Yeah, he's like a goofball. He's on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He's funny, all that stuff. And now, what I mostly meant by his reputation is going to be not tarnished in any way, but a little bit sour. Right. I think for like a little while is because now that whole persona is kind of melted
cracked
away
a little bit. Yeah,
yeah.
Now he's kind of a normal actor.
Yeah. Now you're looking at him and you think like of him fucking screaming at the top of his lung like, you leave my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
And I do think it's just way more like, I think that's the thing too, is I just don't know when does he ever get past it. And I don't know that he ever does.
Yeah.
Which maybe not in like a world shattering negative way, but I just am like the jokes next year. Oh my God. They're not going to let this moment go. I don't know. I think the funniest thing too is that I don't really think anyone is like, is Chris Rock okay?
That's a good point.
Like, I have not heard Chris Rock say, the last thing that Chris Rock has said is that he doesn't want to press charges, which I thank God.
Yeah.
Like, if he was pressing charges, this whole thing would be so much worse. You'd be like, what's going on?
That'd
like,
be bad.
I don't know. I don't think it was staged. I know that's another conspiracy theory
People
out there.
are still thinking it's staged.
I know.
And we won't have to get into it now because it's probably going to be a long conversation, but like, I don't think that.
The Oscars,
I definitely don't think that.
If the rest of the night wasn't so cringily, horribly written, I would maybe believe it.
Yeah.
But the Oscars isn't smart enough. Whoever's writing the Oscars aren't smart enough to write a night of shitty jokes and then one extremely convincing moment.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, and also on top of that, I don't think if they were going to do that, I think they would have done it before the Oscars, if anything.
Or just something else. Or after he won his award, maybe.
Yeah, because why would you put it in the middle of the show if you want ratings to go up?
Yeah. I don't know.
So, I mean, ratings did go up.
They did. I'm sure they did. People tuned in.
They went
for
up
sure.
like 58%, I think. I'm not
and
joking.
it was still
I'm
their
pretty sure that's what I read.
second worst of all time.
Really?
Yep.
Damn, dude. People don't be watching those award shows anymore.
People don't
I mean,
care.
shit, I can't blame you. To be honest, I thought this shit was going to be boring.
I didn't even watch all the nominees this year.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I think that just about does it for us,
That
folks.
about wraps it up.
That about wraps it up. And yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air joke, but I can't really think of one right now.
I guess he got in a little fight and his mom got scared.
That's true.
Now he's living with his auntie and his uncle.
And Bel-Air. You gonna watch that Bel-Air show?
Fuck no. Are you kidding me?
Me either.
Absolutely not.
Me either. All right. Thank you for
Watch the
listening,
original
folks.
It's a good show.
This was another bonus episode. I think we're probably gonna unlock this one just for the culture. The content makes
That's why.
sense the most.
Yep.
So since this one will probably be unlocked, please consider signing up for the Patreon. $5 a month. You get bonus episodes, pre-shows, all sorts of fucking goodies. Check it out. Link in the description. Thank you for listening this week. We'll catch you next time.